I think the first one I always go back to is Culture Fest. It was the very first thing that happened during Welcome Week, to where I felt like I had the ability to be immersed in a lot of different things very quickly, because you see what all IU has to offer in regards to, support for students. So that is, student groups, multicultural organizations, dance groups, choral ensembles. And that was something I think that really touched me as a person who's super duper creative. And as you can imagine, as a freshman coming to this big university, trying to figure out, where is my piece of the world going to be? Where is my home in this space? So it gave me a good framework for, what to look at, what to go into, and just to think about. I talk about finding that place on this campus that's home for you. And for me, when I very first got here, that was the Black Student Union. I had got there and, had the ability to create social events to make, students see the world through the way African Americans, Black people in this country did, to see the beauties of culture. I stayed in the Black Student Union up until 2020, which was a year for us all in this country, to where we did have a racial reckoning that we had to really, I think, now pay attention to. So from there, I was the Black Student Union president, and here we were having a collective conversation as a nation about Black Lives Mattering. And what we saw from that moment there is that the community erupted in love. It erupted in peace in a way that was healing to what we were seeing on a national stage that was there. So from that moment on, we saw a wave of activism in Bloomington, and all of that was a direct impact of showing them that, as students, we have the ability to lead like no other. And there's always this famous quote that says that the youth always inherit the revolution. If I had to summarize my IU experience in one word or one central theme, I would have to say love. I think that what I was able to do in my experience here was not just develop a love for others, but also figure out what it means to love myself and how to extend that message to more people in more ways than one. So that is speaking up, figuring out what my voice was, and then showing people that there's beauty in their testimony, there's beauty in the things that they have to do, and just showing them that there's a possibility and there's a way forward in a lot of different concepts. So love is really what is my driving factor of my IU experience. I guess I would say to me is, don't tremble at the sight or the task of reimagining a new normal. I think that oftentimes we forget because we're told we're so young, we don't understand things, But I think we have to acknowledge that we're a lot closer to the future than what those who are telling us that we have to think about these things a little bit more. Pave a new way forward. And that's one thing I really hope that people are able to look back in time and be able to say, okay, he paved his own way forward in a way that was, uplifting, that was loving, that was caring, that was considerate. And that's not something that's just, only I can do. The thing is you plant seeds so that you can see them grow way, 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 way past your existence here. So I think that's where you always have to think is remain hopeful about anything that's going to come, understanding that social change does take time, so it's a waiting game, but you celebrate the little wins and you consistently fight the good fight and be a thorn in the side of injustice.